Center here on the campus of Morehead State University for this week's edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Jam-packed show tonight, as we said in the open, is the fact that we have both the men and women's basketball coaches will join us, and of course Matt Ballard will join us a little later talking football. We'll lead off the show with Jaime Gordon, the Ohio Valley Conference regular season champion, Eagles of Morehead State, finishing up this week in the regular season. But first of all, congratulations on another regular season title.
Thanks, Jason. We're real excited about it. Our players have worked really hard all spring, all summer, and I think they're really starting to see the fruits of their labor. So we're excited where we are right now, but again, we've got a lot of work to do.
And, of course, what's important about winning the regular season title in volleyball is the fact that you get to host a tournament, and it'll be at Weatherby Gym coming up the 17th through the 19th of November. And, of course, being number one seed, you'll probably end up playing the second game on the 18th at 7 o'clock, which will give you a chance to see what's going on in the tournament. And we, as we always do, we need a nice crowd in Weatherby.
Yeah, that's one of the big advantages. Like you said, you win the regular season, you have that opportunity to host. You also get a bye into the semifinals. So we're excited about that. And, a big part of our home advantage is our fans. So we definitely need everybody to be out next Friday night and hopefully lead us on to a victory and a shot in the finals.
Of course, during the Ohio Valley Conference tournament, it's $5 to get in each session. Any students with their IDs from any school can come in free. And it's a great opportunity to see some great volleyball. Got a chance to, of course, host it last year. Mm-hmm. And, it's that spark, it's that next step. As we talked about, one of your goals for the season is to win the regular season and get a chance to host the tournament.
Yeah, we wanted that opportunity. We've been working hard to try and put ourselves in the best position to compete for that tournament championship, and so far we've been able to do that. But I think for fans, it's going to be some great volleyball. Having that opportunity to host the best teams in the conference, teams that are very competitive, that really show a lot of passion for the game. So, having that in our gym, just for any sports fan, I think it's a great opportunity.
Last time out at Weatherby, Senior Day, it was, it's always nice to get to salute those young ladies who have meant a lot to your program.
Yeah, both Liz Schuler and Emma Keogh. Emma has been a part of 4 conference championship teams, so that was really neat. And Liz also responsible for 3 herself. She had a fantastic match. Actually played all 6 rotations for us, was a tremendous offensive weapon for us to use, and it was fun to have it against Murray State, normal type rival there, and it was an emotional but a special night for us.
And, of course, Friday night, tough match against Southeast Missouri State.
Yeah, we did a great job of starting off the match and really applying ourselves, and our offense was running very well in the first 2 sets, and SEMO did a very nice job. They made a couple of adjustments. Our efficiency dropped a bit, and they captured the 3rd and 4th set. And then in the deciding one, I was really proud to see the way that our team showed composure and really applied ourselves well and won a convincing 5th set.
22-6 overall, 17-1 in the Ohio Valley Conference, and can't forget, still a week left in the regular season. 2 big matches coming up this weekend before you head into the OVC tournament.
Yeah, it's another opportunity for us to go out there. I've been very pleased with the way that our team has performed on the road. Right now we're 8-0 on the road, and it just kind of put it in light. There's not another team in our conference that is even at 500 on the road. So I think that says a lot for our players and their focus and the approach that they take to competition. And I think it's going to be very important heading down to Jacksonville State and Tennessee Tech that we keep that same focus.
Tell us a little bit about Jacksonville State, a little scouting report on them, what to expect Friday.
The first time we played them, they were dealing with a couple of injuries. They're finally back at full strength. They have their libero from the past 3 seasons, Lauren Harkins, that's back into her natural position. She's not at the outside anymore. They've gotten some of their strong attackers back where they naturally are. So they're playing a lot better than they were the first time we saw them, and they're right in the mix of fighting for those last couple spots in the tournament. So we expect them to really be going at it.
You go to from Jacksonville, Alabama, up to Cookeville, Tennessee. The Golden Eaglettes, or the Golden Eagles, as they're called. What can we expect from them?
Well, I would say really in the past couple of years, we've not had our best performances in Cookeville, and this is going to be their last match of the season, their senior match. So they'll be playing with a lot of emotion, and I think it's going to be important for our team to really stay focused on some of our details and some of our fundamental execution. Otherwise, we're going to have a tough time there.
Now, after the regular season, how do you regroup and get ready for the tournament? You're at home, but you also, they get to sleep in their own beds, which is good. No travel. So what's the practice schedule like before the tournament?
Well, we're kind of, and really we've been preparing for that tournament the whole year from the very first day of preseason. And the regular season is about putting ourselves in the best position possible to be successful. And we've done that so far. This week we've been going really hard. We plan on going hard again next week. I think our team looks at every week as a chance to get better, not necessarily plateau. So we're going to be doing some things. We've been doing some self-scout, really taking an internal look at ourselves. How are our opponents going to try and defend us? How are they going to attack us? And let's try and make some adjustments there.
During the latter part of the regular season, has any of the teams behind you surprised you? Have they moved up or impressed you with the way they're playing at this point of the season?
I think Tennessee State looks really good right now. They're a very athletic team. We saw that when we played at their place. It was a 5-set match. They've got 2 of the more physical players in our conference, and Shakita Williams and Taraka, and they're a scary team. But at the same time, and it showed what Eastern Illinois did to us at our place. Anybody on any given night can take out someone. So it's all about being prepared and making sure that we're taking care of our side of the net.
We mentioned this a couple of times earlier this season, the tough pre-conference schedule you play. Have you seen it pay off now towards this stretch? Because, you've played some 5-set matches, and, you had a string that it was 3 and done, but the competition you played has to help heading into the tournament.
It does. In pre-conference, we had 2 5-gamers against UNLV and Western Michigan, both of those which we dropped. But then on the other side of that, we had 2 5-gamers in conference play against SEMO and Tennessee State, both of those which we won. So we do look back at that and saying that helped prepare us. But, to be honest, Jason, I think one of the things that has prepared us the most is practice every day. I think what we're able to put on both sides of the net, the depth that we have on our roster has probably provided us the most improvement throughout the season probably than anything.
Also, I noticed over the year that you have a tight-knit bunch. I mean, as you said, they had some younger players working with some older players, but now they're all players. And I really think that could be a key, too, because, it's like, one big group if you mess with Morehead State.
It kind of sounds a little corny, but we really talk about it and they believe about it, is that it's 12 heartbeats, 1 heart, and that's how they approach everything. From we saw it in our senior day festivities, the type of time and commitment that our underclassmen put in into really expressing their appreciation of what the seniors have meant to them. It's a great reflection of what type of character we have in our program.
And, of course, once again, the Ohio Valley Conference tournament going on next week at Weatherby, November 17th, 18th, and 19th. Eagles will play the second game on the 18th at 7 o'clock. And, of course, Morehead State's leading the Ohio Valley Conference 17-1 right now. Tennessee State is 11-6. UT Martin is 10-7, as is Southeast Missouri at 10-7. And as you said, it's a roll of a dice once the postseason begins, because in this league, on any given night, anyone can win.
Well, next week, all of those records change. Everybody goes 0-0. And it's going to be which team can put together the best weekend. If it's one of the top 2 seeds, who can win 2? If it's one of the bottom 4 seeds, can one of those teams put 3 good matches together? And that's going to be the team that moves on. So the 17-1 or 18 or 19 wins that we may have going into that tournament goes right out the window, and it's a matter of getting it done at that point.
But as always, we want a big crowd out at Weatherby because that extra person in the crowd may make the difference.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we're going to need a couple extra people because rumor has it we may have one of our loudest fans that is not going to be able to be there, and I'm thinking it's going to take at least 35 to 40 people to make up the decibels.
Not the one that wears a toga.
Puts out. Huh?
Not the one that wears a toga.
We took them on the road for us to help with our kind of getting that home advantage on the road, and now I think we might be losing it for that one.
We maybe 5 people for his voice.
I don't know.
So, but Jamie, always a pleasure. Once again, I know it's a lot of hard work. Regular season of Ohio Valley Conference champions. No matter how it comes out, it's a successful season. But we also like to be talking about 2 weeks about the NCAA pairings.
Yeah, we would definitely too. And I did share that with our team when we won the regular season outright in Richmond. It's quite an accomplishment. And even though we've had some success in past years, 4 out of the last 5 years, I don't want them to lose focus and really appreciate what type of accomplishment that is, because it is special.
Always a pleasure, Jamie. Good luck.
Thanks, Jason.
Jaime Gordon, volleyball coach at Morehead State University. We'll come back with more. This is the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. Good job. Thank you. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Coach goes over your head just like this.
Right, how fancy is this? My goodness.
We went high tech.
Shades of Garth Brooks. Holy smokes.
He's going to sing.
Right. Right. We don't want to swallow it. Is that? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Whew. Thank you.
Thought you were going to Penn State or somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Probably should have had those onions.
Welcome back to the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. We're joined by Tom Hodges, women's basketball coach at Morehead State University, pointing to the crowd for people seeing this on tape, live on the internet.
We weren't pointing at you, Dean Kett. The Natalie Greenwell and the Shanice Parker, the Casey Ryan's cameo appearance. Nice job.
Right. So, but We are here. Let's talk a little bit about last night's exhibition game. Had an easy time, 96-67, 96 points, 96 shots last night. You can straighten up if you want to. You don't have to fall down.
Well, Jay, our surroundings are just so cozy. This is just great. This is just a wonderful setting. This is my first trip over, and certainly proud to be here. Exhibition games have gone well. We've gotten our pace of play kind of what we wanted to get, Jay, and had 96 attempts last night. Really wanted to get to about 105 shots on goal, but overall it was a good night.
Tell us a little bit about, I know you changing the style. You're going to go up and down the floor. And for people who didn't get to see the exhibition games or listening to us on the radio, tell us a little bit about the style change this year for the Eagles.
Well, we made a conscious effort in the off-season to, with the graduation of China Bozeman, we made a conscious effort to do two things. We wanted to increase our depth, which we did with 7 new freshmen, and we wanted to increase the pace of play, Jay. We wanted to really get up and down the floor, use the full court press, and then play fast in the open floor. Consulted with about 3 different people, probably the most prominent of which was Paul Westhead, who's now the women's head basketball coach at University of Oregon. He's most famous for his Loyola Marymount teams in the late 80s, early 90s with Hank Gathers and Bo Kimball that routinely scored 120, 125 points a game. So I was able to visit with Coach Westhead throughout the summer. We became pretty close friends, and we've really tried to incorporate his style that he made famous.
People may know Westhead around here is, in fact, the former L.A. Laker coach.
Right.
Also won a WNBA championship, so his credentials second to none.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's a great guy. I mean, he had no reason to sit down with us and take the time to really educate our staff on the system and everything that it entails. So it's really exciting. We're still working out the kinks, but the preliminary reports are really encouraging.
You mentioned the loss of China Bozeman, a great player in her career at Morehead State. You're also returning a pretty good nucleus for your second season.
Oh, there's no doubt. Jay, you know, whenever you return Courtney Lumpkin, who will leave Morehead State as the all-time assist leader in program history, a 4-year starter at the point guard, that just doesn't happen on the Division I level very often. Ashar Harris, who was 3rd in the country in rebounding and 2nd in the country in double-doubles last year. And then Alinda Dixon, who in my opinion is the most underrated basketball player in the Ohio Valley Conference. So you take those 3 young ladies with an Allie Turner, a Therese Robinson, who split time at that 4th starting position last year, and it gives you an incredible nucleus of which to build upon.
And I also think you went out on the recruiting trail and got you some size. One of the things that we didn't have a lot last year was size.
No, for Ashar to be a 5 player her first 2 years here at 5'9" and high heels, it has been a shame. So we got her a little more depth to move her to a more natural 4 position. Casey Rhines has come in and had an excellent preseason. Mackenzie Arledge is come in and just really responded well after tearing her ACL and having to sit out her senior season. So it's a young lady who hasn't played competitively in over a year, and she's come in and is making some big strides. So really like the direction of our post players. Tyler Eachwin is progressing nicely and kind of sliding over to that 3-4 hybrid slide, almost where we played China at last year.
You never dodge anybody since you've been here. You open up with the University of Kentucky at Johnson Arena. Of course, want to break the all-time women's attendance record Friday night, so we want everyone who's listening or watching to come out. Of course, some special promotions going on for that game.
maybe we need to start dodging some people, Jay. I mean, this time last year we were getting ready for Kentucky, who was ranked 8th in the country, and Notre Dame, who was the national runner-up. So maybe we need to work on our dodging skills a little bit. But no, absolutely got a huge Friday night coming up. The all-time attendance record is 3,030 fans to see a women's basketball game in Johnson Arena. We absolutely would love to see that shattered. It's a Veterans Day. All veterans are absolutely welcome and honored to come to Johnson Arena. All high schools and middle schools teams, if they'll get us their roster, they'll be admitted free and easy. So we're really excited. It's going to be a great night of basketball. Kentucky's ranked 15th in the country right now, so we've got our wagon loaded, but it's the challenge that this bunch needs, Jay.
So all they have to do, if they're a middle school team, a peewee team, a high school team, get the roster to the basketball office, because they'll need the documentation when you walk in the door per NCAA regs, and that way they can check them out. They can come in and view. Also, in Tuesday's Morehead News, if you see the ad there, you can bring that and get $3 off admissions there. So
that's absolutely right. And if you don't have a team, just form one together, fax in your roster, and we'll figure it out from there.
We'll work at it. Yeah, you just made Richard Fletcher turn over his grave.
Oh,
right
Fletcher
there.
will be all right. As long as if you don't, if we need some intramural teams, come on.
Come on. We just need bodies.
The price of admission is a pulse right now, Jay.
Okay.
If we've got a breathing, living human being that wants to see a women's basketball game on Friday night against the University of Kentucky, we don't need to let anything stand in our way to get them into Johnson Arena, see these beautiful new HD video boards, and support our young ladies.
What's the outfit going to be?
Well, that's a surprise.
Oh,
that's a surprise.
now,
We've
come
got
on.
a few wardrobe surprises for
Okay.
Friday night, Jay.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait till Friday. Matthew Mitchell coming back to Morehead, spent a couple years here. Know you're close friends with Matthew, and Coach has done an excellent job at Kentucky and got a pretty good team coming back. He's had a nice run since he's been at UK.
There's no doubt about it. They're everything a top 15 team in America should be. You look at them on film, they're long, they're athletic, they can shoot the basketball, they rebound with great veracity. They really, he's done an unbelievable job. And on top of that, they probably play as hard as anybody in the country. And that's what I think is going to make it a very exciting game with us playing the system and the Marymount style. It's very similar to what they do at Kentucky. So hopefully the first 1 to 200 wins, Jay.
Okay. We'll blow out the video boards early.
Absolutely.
Then you return home, or you stay home. I'll be going to Davidson, and then I'll be returning home. But Ohio coming up, pretty solid program at Ohio, a MAC school with a lot of tradition.
Absolutely. Samika Randall of Lady Vol fame has been their head coach the last couple of years and really doing a nice job building that program. They signed a Parade All-American last year, signed a junior college All-American, so they're recruiting at a very high level. They're starting a series here in Morehead on Sunday. So it's a good weekend of basketball. It's going to be a quick weekend of basketball to have a big night Friday night against Kentucky and then turn right back around and host a very good Ohio team on Sunday afternoon at 2.
2 o'clock is the tip-off, and, of course, pregame will be at 6:45 on Friday and 1:45 on Sunday on the ESN. We invite everyone who can't make it out. They can tune in there. Tell us a little bit about the Ohio Valley Conference. Who's going to be good, who's not going to be good?
Well, I hope the Lady Eagles are going to be real good, Jay. That's really what we're planning on. This will be the best, probably the best the OVC has been in women's basketball. And I know since I've been following closely in the last 15 years, I was at Tennessee Tech from 2000 to 2004, and there were some really good teams that sent multiple teams to the postseason. I feel like this year we have a chance to send as many as 3, maybe even 4 teams to the postseason on the women's side. There were 4 teams that won 20 games in the conference last year, which is a nice mark. UT Martin, who got on a hot streak, they won the OVC tournament, went to the NCAAs. They returned everybody, didn't graduate a person. Tennessee Tech did not graduate a soul. They won the regular season. So Coach Messer at Tennessee Tech's done a great job. Eastern Illinois, who in my opinion is the most talented team in the conference, they didn't have a senior on their roster. So there were 7 teams in the NCAA last year, Jason, that didn't have a senior on their roster, and 4 of them were in the Ohio Valley Conference. So we've got our wagon loaded. Even though we only graduated 1, that one was a special young lady, but we feel very confident that we're ready to compete and be right in the thick of things come OVC season.
Once again, University of Kentucky coming to Johnson Arena at 7 o'clock on Friday night. We want to set an all-time women's attendance record, and we invite you out to come on out early. And, Tom, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, Jay. Thank you.
Tom Hodges, women's basketball coach at Morehead State University. We'll come back with more. This is Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
There you go, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. All right. Hey, Coacher.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere. Hold on, Jeremy. Let me find my paper, Jeremy. Somewhere. Feels
Pardon
okay?
me? Yeah, great. Let me sing a song.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, the vocal stylings of Matt Ballard.
I forgot my guitar. I left.
You ready?
I left it. I left it in the car.
Welcome back to the Adrian Dorn University Center Side Street Grill. I almost caught you on cam singing, you know.
Yeah.
Matt Ballard has joined us now, and Coach, the season winding down for your Eagles. You go to Campbell last week and play a tough Campbell squad, and one of those situations where 3 to 4 plays probably made a difference in that game.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure if I made this comment after the game, post game with Chuck. Maybe I did, but you know, I thought there were probably a half a dozen plays that that game could have really swung either way. You know, I just really pleased with the way our guys battled and kept responding, kept making plays, and I think on both sides of the ball, I was pleased with our special teams effort. You know, one of the freaky things, crazy things that happens during the ball game. You know, we had about a 20, 25 mile an hour wind gust up to 30 miles an hour, kind of a crosswind. And, you know, one of the critical key plays of the ball game was, you know, we stopped them defensively. We snapped the ball, or they snapped the ball to punt. And, you know, that wind was pretty bad. And as a crosswind, the punter actually drops the ball. Didn't go all the way down to the ground, but he drops it and fumbles it, and then he just, punts it to get off and away. So with the delay of that, and then with the crosswind blowing the way it was, our guys were way down the field. And what's interesting, that ball comes down behind them. And what's interesting, it'd be nice if we had instant replay and had all the cameras like the major colleges. But if that play would have been reviewed, guess what? That would have been our football, because our guy is blocked into the football, hit him in the back, and they recover, get the ball. They have a short porch, and then they put another one in. But, it's one of those games that is going back and forth. Our guys kept responding. We probably played as good of a third quarter offensively as we have all year long. Had some great opportunities and had a chance to close it within 7. We missed the short field goal. Right hash is Rayner's toughest spot, and then with a crosswind, we just barely miss it. But, I just like the way our guys kept battling, kept responding, and getting back in it. And, we had a chance right there at the very end, and, it would have been nice if we'd have made that field goal. That last drive would have been a drive to go down and tie that ball game up and try to force it into overtime. But, you look at the two teams, it's probably a mismatch from a physical standpoint. They literally dwarfed us. They've got 33 seniors. We're very young, very experienced. But you know what? Our guys, they just don't even pay any attention to that. They're going to line up. They're going to battle. They're going to compete. And we did some tremendous things, played well enough most of the time to win the football game. But it was a fumble, just a couple of miscues. And then when we had to stop them, you got to give credit where credit's due. Campbell converted in the run game when they had to in order to seal the win in the game. But our guys have nothing to hang their head about. Very disappointed when you fight that hard and compete and you come back close and you have an opportunity to win the football game. But you and I think I said this after the ball game. The way I look at it, you win some, you lose some. Others, you come up short or you run out of time. I think that's the category that this one falls into. But I think there's a lot of things that individually and unit-wise that we can build on this and gain a lot from.
Well, I think your offense can really gain from that second half. After struggling some of the first half, as you said, it was like the light went on in the third quarter, and you marched up and down that field.
It really did. I tell you what, our guys up front did I think an exceptional job from a protection standpoint. Our wide receivers and halfbacks probably played their best ball game as far as reading the coverage, sitting down in the zones, and then Zach was as sharp as attack. He reset his completions record at Morehead State for somebody to hear that a quarterback completes 44 passes in a ball game. I'm sure they'll kind of look at you and say, "What? Are you kidding me?" But he was razor sharp. When we went through the film, we had 6 drops, and then there were a few more passes that should have been completed, and realistically, very easy. Zach probably should have been 54 out of 67. But he had a great day. Dante Sawyer had his best day of his career, made the most one of the most impressive, greatest catches that I've ever seen in my career there for a touchdown. And, our guys were just hungry. They believed. They didn't think that they could stop us. And if we hadn't had the miscues and the fumble and the punt in our back, we felt like that we left 14 points out there in the first half, and that's the difference.
Well, you mentioned your offensive line. You were playing shorthanded anyway, and to do what they did for Zach and for the team, sometimes this year your offensive line has been the Achilles heel, but Saturday they bunched up when they could have just said, okay, gang, we got 2 starters out and another lineman gone, but they didn't do that. They rose to the challenge.
And I'll tell you what was the most impressive, Mr. Bruner over there at left tackle. He's a true freshman. I can count on my 2 fingers the number of freshmen that have played since we have been here. Thrust into a playing role earlier this year, but it's very challenging for a young freshman offensive lineman to go from playing 10 to 12 snaps a ball game to playing 85, 90 snaps a ball game. But I tell you what, he did an amazing job, played with great confidence, and what's so impressive, he graded out higher than anybody on our offensive line this past week. I think he graded out at 93%. For an offensive lineman to do that, I mean, that's what normally your upperclassmen, all-conference caliber kind of guys do. And that left side is the most important, and he did a tremendous, tremendous job. It's amazing what confidence will do, and he knew that he had to step up and do a great job for us to protect Zach's backside and then to do a good job in the run game. And, you know, I tell you what, that's tremendous, and that's going to really make a huge difference for us this week and then the following week.
Davidson this week on the road, a very special place when we go to Davidson for you.
Well, of course, that's where I was born and raised, and as a young man, I literally grew up on that college campus. When I wasn't in school, practicing, working for my dad, or playing ball games, that's where I hung out. Everybody thought I was a coach's son. They treated me very well. I didn't have to have an ID to go into the library or the pool or in the gymnasium. There's that Ballard kid. Come on in. They really took care of me. I was at almost every football, basketball, baseball practice. I worked their sideline during the ball game, worked in the press box. They would take me on the road with them, and I'd work with the TV or radio crew, or I'd chart for them on the sideline. I mean, it's one of the top academic institutions in America. It's just a beautiful place, great people, and there's nobody alive, and I'll say it that way, that has spent more time on that field than I had, where I did when I was growing up. So it's pretty cool for me personally to go back and be able to coach against them on that field. The Ballards and the Hefners, we always get together, and it's kind of like a family reunion. So it's a great day, and hopefully we'll have a great week of preparation. We know we got our hands full. Playing Davidson is like running into a swarm of Yellow Jackets. That's the honest to God truth. They just play so hard. They're so smart. They're so disciplined. They're going to have a defensive package that is different from anything that you have seen. They throw the football all over the place. I think last week's ball game lasted, 3:05?
Yeah.
3:08. Let me tell you what. This ball game, the way we're throwing
Bring your lunch.
And you better bring your lunch
and dinner.
And maybe your dinner and your pillow. This game could literally last 3.5 hours. And so hopefully we're going to go down, give a great effort, build on the things that we did with confidence last week, play very hard and smart, and find a way to get a great victory.
Jonathan Carhuff, their quarterback, hitting 63% of his passes, almost over 2,500 yards, 13 touchdowns. They only rushed for 3 touchdowns all season long. So in other words, they're going to be maybe some stoppage on incomplete passes. Hopefully more for them than us.
Yeah, absolutely. In our Sunday night meeting, I told our defensive line, hey, man, you better get on the treadmill. You better get on the bicycle. You better go walk extra with your girlfriend and your dog out in the park, because it takes an enormous amount of energy out of defensive linemen to pass rush, and for defensive backs as well. When that is every snap, every play, it's a tremendous challenge. We've got to find some type of rotation early and keep that throughout the ball game to try to keep our guys fresh. But hopefully the best defense in that, besides us playing well and breaking on the ball and very aggressive, is for us to play our style offensively, take our time, nickel and dime them, and then we got to convert and put points on the scoreboard. And hopefully it'll be a great day for us.
Yeah, your offense may be your best defense because
Absolutely.
you keep them off the field by doing the dinking and the dorking, and we've seen us get better than that. But I have to give credit. Now, sometimes your defensive backs this year have been much maligned, but over the last few weeks, they've played a lot better. They've stepped up for you.
They really have. It looks like a different group, and that started in the Dayton game, and then our off week really made a lot of difference because we made a lot of plays and the things that help build confidence. And they have finally, I think, are relaxing a little bit, try to have a little more fun, and they're seeing the plays that, hey, if I'm aggressive and play with confidence, hey, this is what can happen, this is what I can do. And then you saw the same thing Saturday. So, that really makes us feel good that now we're going against a team that is 95% pass. That bodes well. We just have to find a way to disrupt that quarterback, change the looks that we're giving him, Got to have great play by our underneath linebackers, and everybody be a very aggressive and break on the football.
Matt, good luck against Davidson on
Thank
Saturday.
you.
We'll talk to you next week. Once again, Davidson, Morehead State will be traveling to Davidson on Saturday. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff, 12:30 airtime on the ESN. Also going on this week, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, the men's will close out the exhibition schedule hosting St. Catherine's at 7 o'clock. Volleyball team on the road at Jackson State and Tennessee Tech. But, of course, big game coming up Friday for the women's basketball program. The University of Kentucky coming to town. 7 o'clock tip-off. They're trying to break the all-time women's attendance records, 3,030. So come on out. 7 o'clock will be the game time. We'll be on the air on most of these ESN stations beginning at 6:45. I'd like to thank Jaime Gordon, and along with Matt Ballard, and let's see, Coach Tyndall, Donnie Tyndall, and Tom Hodges. God, we had everybody on today, and we just go through the directory tomorrow.
And that guy right there.
You want to thank him?
Yeah, go ahead.
We want to thank Matt Siegel?
That's right.
Okay. But until next week, from the Side Street Grill, I'm Jason Blanton for everyone involved. So long, everybody.